BAFTERDA publication of Chancellor Broadcasting Company and Talk Radio Network. KIJ. August 1995 New York Post, Bell tied with Lid YI. Number 2 Radio Talker T. The 3 is heard in New York, how will have the opposite result of what Hat's right. Art Bell is tied, ever the president intended. Quoting along with G. Gordon Liddy, Brian Jennings of Super Talk in a fascinating chart accompanying for the honor of being the second most listened to radio talk show. The article, see below. Audalian rates the Consultants, an Oregon-based company which advises radio stations on talk host in America, according to a recent top talk hosts by estimated weekly audience and number of stations. Article in the New York Post. Written options. The article concludes, in our industry, there's nothing better than here's how they shake out. Rush during the heat of President Clinton's attacks on talk radio following the Limbaugh, 20 million listeners per criticism, and most talkers are taking this flag and running with it, says Oklahoma City Tragedy. The article, Jennings. Talk shows are doing what entitled right wing, right stuff, by the best estimate now is rock DJs like Imus and Cousin Brucey. Joseph Audalian, is subtitled, Sorry, Bill, America loves radio talkers that nearly half of all used to do. They're saying the things it's the purest form of President Clinton might not like. Americans listen to talk radio we want. To say, communication. It, writes Audalian, but the boom in on a regular or semi-regular right-wing radio shows no sign of slow. Commenting on the article, Julian Ingdown. Led by Rush Limbaugh's 20 basis, says Michael Hudson, Chancellor Broadcasting million weekly listeners and dozens of companies. Director of Affiliate Harrison, editor of Talkers. National and local conservative chat relations, says, at our rate of growth TERS, the talk radio format which also in affiliates, I expect Art to be on 200 includes liberal and non-political pro-week, G. Gordon Liddy, 5 to 6 million stations by Christmas, and consider Grams has leapt ahead of adult con listeners. Art Bell, 5 to 6 million listening that many stations that carry both temporary music to become the tenors. Mike Reagan, 3.25 million, and Rush and Liddy are not even on nation's most popular form of radio. Barry Farber, 1.8 million. Note, as of overnight, Art's rise to fame has been press time. Art's number of affiliates for swift and conclusive. Art Bell is now programming. The best estimate now is that Coast to Coast has climbed to 175. The most listened to live overnight. Nearly half of all Americans listen to. The article concludes by noting radio talk show host in the country that most industry insiders think talk radio on a regular or semi-regular, and when we say overnight, we mean basis, says Michael Harrison, editor of Clinton's anti-talk radio comments all night. Talkers, a radio trade newspaper. Harrison adds, talk radio is not the look who's talking opinion leader. It simply reflects what listeners are thinking. Number of listeners in millions when he gets down to naming host, number of stations, cumulative weekly audience, names. Audalian of course acknowledges radio's top talker. Limbaugh is 20,880,000 far and away the industry leader, with Rush Limbaugh 4 times as many listeners as G. Gordon Liddy, his closest conservative 5.8,282,000 G. Gordon Liddy competitor. Liddy attracts approximately 5 to 6 million listeners each. 5.8 million. Art Bell 158 week. Are you ready? Audalian continues, other high-rated national talkers 3.25 million. 103 Mike Reagan include former First Son Michael Reagan, Nevada-based overnight radio 75 1.8 million. Barry Farber star Art Bell, and former New York radio regular Barry Farber. None of source, estimates based on Arblutron figures. Reprinted from New York Postlo. Ramo N.Astra Velan G tips, how to Keej, J Jursani Y plane know that once again you to the bathroom. Are going because the plane is acting like a roller coaster. So Art starts giving you his own unique insights on the situation. Observation number 1, never assume your husband knows what direction he's going in, especially in Tokyo. Now Art generally knows where he's going, but in this case he'd been to Tokyo before. Ever hear the expression that a little bit of knowledge can make you dangerous? Next time I'll have a map drawn out. You know this kind of turbulence is capable of ripping the wings right off the airplane. Observation number 2, of course, if it did, we'd probably vaporize long before we hit the water. Observation number 3, and if we lost and found. Top, Bob and Sue Crane with Ramona and Art Bell, on Hong Kong's Victoria Peak. Above, entering one of Communist China's special economic zones. Bottom right, typical Chinese housing, apartment complex in Shenzhen in Communist China. No tips for a 10-hour flight. For one thing, the human rear end was not designed to sit in an airliner seat that long. For another, no matter how large your airplane seat is, the human body will find some uncomfortable way to sleep on it. Good luck. Well, maybe one tip. Women should be able to have the aisle seat in an airline so they don't have to listen to their husbands say, "Where are you going, honey? It's so nice to have everyone in the..." When you need water. When in Thailand, especially Bangkok, always shave a bottle of water by the bed. It's so hot that even in the middle of the night you can work up a killer thirst. Example. Art stumbles in the dark over to our room's wet bar to get one of those little bottles of water they have. He cracks one open and starts to chug it down. He said it was like a bomb going off in his head. Instead of cool, thirst-quenching water, it was Johnny Walker Red. I thought he was going to choke to death. The bill for the scotch was also life-threatening, $26.00. Remember, the dollar's not what it used to be. Fear of flying? If you're wondering what it's like to travel with Art, consider this: you're a bit nervous after dark. Page 2. Do hit the water, your survival time is probably short. Thanks honey, I needed that. Home again. The biggest thing I learned is that I love my husband very much, but the 11 days I spent with him was more than enough for one continuous event. You listen to the show, so you know. Art's an intense experience. Pity the white-knuckled flyer. More trip photos on page 8 from the high desert. The Road to Hong Kong and Back by Art Bell. I've always told you that unless you get away from America you don't fully appreciate what we've got here. Well, let me add to that truism. Unless you get to see what's happening in China, you can't really appreciate it. It's staggering. It's huge. It's scary. Consider the fact that China has 1.3 billion people. America has about 260 million. So they've got a 1 billion people advantage when it comes to pure labor force potential. You can add to that another kind of potential, a fairly new reality in Communist China, what they call special economic zones. See photo, page 2. We visited one called Shenzhen and the word special doesn't quite cover it. Spectacular is more accurate. In this new China the national bird is the crane, the construction crane. Everywhere you look, buildings are going up. Everywhere you look, trucks are on the roads carrying construction materials. At the borders there are long lines of trucks, empty if they are entering China, and packed with products if they are leaving to foreign markets. Government gives commerce the right of way in all cases. The only regulating that seems to go on is regulating the people so they don't get in the way of business. The Chinese are serious about competing with the world, and if this keeps up, it won't be much of a competition. Even Japan's economic engine will soon compare to China's on the level of a fruit fly vs Godzilla. Am I being clear enough? I promised the folks on my tour that I would do everything I could to get word of this to you. So this is it. The United States better respond aggressively, and that means joint ventures. We are managers, thinkers, innovators, and either we make use of that talent or else. It was Khrushchev who said he'd bury us. It may be the Chinese who actually do it. Ironically, one of China's main advantages over the US is also its Achilles heel. Call it jackbooted capitalism because that's what it is. They are, and make no mistake about this, a totalitarian state. What they lack in decency, freedom, and human rights they make up for in pure fascist efficiency, at least in their special economic zones. Here's an Orwellian chill for you: they don't allow older folks to live in these special zones. That's right, only the young get to work there. Once you are over the age of 40 or so, your time is up. Meanwhile, the young are sought for their natural. The Chinese are serious about competing with the world, and if this keeps up, it won't be much of a competition. Even Japan's economic engine will soon compare to China's on the level of a fruit fly vs Godzilla. Exuberance, their raw energy, and their willingness to be exploited, it's their only way to escape the soul-deadening communist life they grew up with, a life that continues in full force back over the border, outside the special zones. You have to see to believe the faces of the border guards as you leave the Chinese special zone and enter communist China. These are unhappy people, and they don't want you to be happy either. They don't want you to even know anyone who is happy. Our communist guide, we changed guides at the special economic zone border, made a point of letting us know that we didn't want to step out of line. Do that and it's straight to Beijing for you, while the whole tour grinds to a dead stop. We took the hint and stayed in line pretty much. Bob Crane and I and our lovely wives kept making a break for it, just to sample real communist China. Bob even tried some food after dark. Page 3, cooked right on the street. And I mean on the street. This was hardcore, not for tourists, don't eat unless you plan to be sick for a week type stuff. Bob ate it. That's why we love him. No guts, no glory, right? Despite the gray, unhappy look so typical of communist countries, construction in the communist sector is also very impressive. It may, however, have less to do with real capital investment than it does with keeping the guys busy over at the Department of Keeping Busy. You know, move the stone here, move the stone there, break for lunch. What's the old communist joke? We pretend to work and they pretend to pay us. It's a common sight over there to see 20 older women sweeping a street, with brooms, mind you. No surprise. When you have a billion people to keep busy, you can invest a few seniors to keep a street clean. But that's old communist China. In the special zones, they do pay, and by Chinese standards, the rivers are running with gold. But what makes China a truly serious threat is the absolute control it has over this huge, eager to please labor force which knows how to work. Foreigners flow capital into the special zones, they get a great return on their investment, while China gets to build its infrastructure at a rapid rate, supplying more opportunities in special zones for more investors and corporate partners to make huge profits, all the while supplying them with the cheap labor necessary to maintain this free market feeding frenzy. Of course, one day, just like Japan, China will have the infrastructure, they'll have the capital, and they'll still have the labor force. To put it bluntly, they'll own the game. Enter Godzilla. Exit fruit fly. Feature article. An interview with Pat Buchanan. Recently, Art Bell interviewed Pat Buchanan, a declared Republican presidential candidate. Buchanan was a senior advisor to 3 American presidents. From 1966 to 1974 he was assistant and confidant to Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford, and from 1985 to 1987 he was White House Director of Communications for Ronald Reagan. In December 1991, Mr. Buchanan challenged President George Bush for the 1992 Republican presidential nomination. A journalist by vocation, Mr. Buchanan writes a twice-a-week syndicated column, and also co-hosts the nightly CNN television show, Crossfire. On July 5, 1993, he began hosting a daily 3-hour mutual radio talk show of his own, Pat Buchanan and Company. Here are some highlights of Art's interview with Pat Buchanan. Art: of all the candidates in the field, Pat, I like you the best. But I'm going to ask you some tough questions. In 1992, you scared the pants off of George Bush. A lot of pundits are suggesting you're not going to be able to repeat the performance with respect to Bob Dole. How is it going? Pat: I think, Art, the Lord put pundits on this earth to be embarrassed. These are the same fellows that said Goldwater couldn't be nominated, Nixon could never be elected, Reagan was washed up in '76, and George Bush was invincible. I think we have a fighting chance of winning this nomination. We have 11 months to go, instead of 10 weeks like I had last time. Bob Dole is not as strong as George Bush was, and I am much stronger now than I was then. I think it is wide open for everyone right now. Art, if you get the nomination, what would a race between Bill Clinton and Pat Buchanan be like? Pat, Bill Clinton is vulnerable, but nobody should write him off. I think the race would be, on my part, first to unite the Republican Party behind me. There would be some Wall Street Republicans who are more than unenthusiastic about me. It would then be a race to get the Reagan Democrats back in the fold. Ronald Reagan brought in the social issue conservatives. And a security fence would be the first order of business of the Buchanan administration. A double-link security fence over those 66 miles and 95% of the illegal immigration would be stopped cold then. It would be a battle for the parrot vote, the United We Stand people. For these folks, I think my stands against NAFTA, against GATT, against the whole New World Order, for restoring sovereignty, for no more Mexican bailouts, would be a compelling argument. I think we could put together the coalition to win. These are critical issues. The GATT agreement was designed with these multinational companies in mind, so they can shut down their plant here, put it in Singapore or Indonesia, make the products with labor that is about 5% the cost of ours, dump the products back in the US, and kill their competition that stayed home and kept employing American workers. I think we are moving the party toward the Buchanan position on this issue. We have to bring the party over to a position of economic patriotism, as I call it, where the US government starts looking out for American businesses, American workers, and American jobs, and stops worrying about some global New World Order. Art, when Ronald Reagan became president, there were a lot of stories that the big boys, the really big boys, walked in and more or less demanded that Reagan take Bush. These big boys, are they going to let you be president, Pat? Pat, if I break through in New Hampshire and come out as the winner, or as the powerful challenger to number 1 Bob Dole, I think I can win the nomination. And I think heaven and earth will fall upon me from the Mort, stairs 5FF3K Tour Cities Pound TJS car. Co nctal.ev epof J5 big boys, as you describe them, because they will not want me nominated. But by then I will be running to daylight, and the American people will rally to me. They didn't want Ronald Reagan either, but Reagan did it. By the way, Art, I'll tell you why Ronald Reagan picked George Bush that night in Detroit. I was there. When negotiations putting Gerald Ford on the ticket broke down over Ford's demands on the Reaganites, Reagan's people had made him look somewhat ridiculous. Reagan moved immediately to put that story behind him by going to the convention hall and announcing his vice president, George Bush. There's no doubt the establishment wanted Bush as VP, but I think Ronald Reagan chose him on the spur of the moment because the Ford deal collapsed. Art, there was a big disturbance at your presidential announcement, people calling you anti-Semitic and racist. What is it that you have done that has caused your detractors to label you anti-Semitic and racist? Pat, the charge is that I defended the alleged Nazi war criminal, John Demjanjuk, which I did beginning in 1982. I said it was a case of mistaken identity, that this was not the greatest war criminal in history, this was not the Beast of Treblinka. And for 10 years this issue went on and on. It was argued back and forth, Demjanjuk was deported, his citizenship taken away, he was to be sent to the Soviet Union where he would have been hanged, but we stopped that. He was then sent to Israel, put on trial, convicted in one of the greatest war crimes trials of the post-war era, and was about to be hanged when the Supreme Court of Israel said, courageously and honorably, that this was a case of mistaken identity, that the man is innocent. That is what I had said for 10 years. The U.S. Justice Department was accused by U.S. courts of fraud, when the GATT agreement was designed with these multinational companies in mind, so they can shut down their plant here, put it in Singapore or Indonesia, make the products with labor that is about 5% the cost of ours, dump the products back in the US, and kill their competition that stayed home and kept employing American workers. They discovered it had withheld evidence from the defense. I was proven right, and Mjanjuk was brought back to the United States. Art, then why aren't the signs denouncing you coming down? Pat, there are still many who believe he is guilty. If he was not the beast of Treblinka, they believe he was the beast of somewhere else. They still believe that I was defending a Nazi war criminal. I believe that is the main reason that I, long ago a strong supporter of Israel, am called these names and will be until the day I die. That was the best journalism I ever did, and I am proud of the role I had in freeing a man I believed to be totally innocent of any war crimes. Art, my assessment of Bob Dole is that he is a good man. But he has been a minority leader and now a majority leader in the Congress, and that job is a job of compromise. I'm not sure that is good training ground for the presidency. Pat, I share your view almost exactly, Art, which is also President Eisenhower's view. Eisenhower said, "Do not get your presidents off Capitol Hill. Do not get them out of Congress, because compromise is built into them." I think Bob Dole genuinely believes in governance through compromise. He believes in splitting the difference with his opponents. I think he believes basically in the government as it exists today, with some modifications. I don't think that is good enough for America in 1997. Anyone that has spent that long on Capitol Hill, and has been involved in that many decisions and compromises on taxes and quotas and so on is not going to come into the presidency with the kind of energy and fire that is necessary to rectify the wrongs that I think exist up there. I agree with you, Bob Dole is a good man, he is Medal of Freedom material. But I don't think he stands out where he should be right now. I honestly don't see what the difference would be between a Bush administration and a Dole administration. Art, about the Mexican peso bailout. Indications are that the $20 billion from our fund to their fund hasn't done very much. The peso continues to fall, it's in big trouble. Who got that done? Is it the same big boys we talked about a little while ago? Pat, you're exactly right. The American people rose up in wrath when that was proposed to be done legislatively, Art. And so Bill Clinton did it by executive order, with the approval of the Republican leadership in Congress, which refused to fight it or oppose it. What happened again is the New York banks were hanging on the hook out there with all this lousy paper. They suddenly discovered that Mexico can't pay off its loans. So they got their friends in Washington, me Greenspan and me Rubin, to go to the president and concoct the scheme whereby the banks would be taken off the hook, and the American taxpayer put on. That is exactly what's happening. We send the money to Mexico City, we make the new loans, guaranteed by US taxpayers. Mexico takes the money, sends it back to New York, pays off the bad loans the New York banks are holding, they get off free, we're on the hook, and the money will never ever be paid back. And we'll probably have to be sending down more right after this $20 billion. Art, let's say things continue to deteriorate. Following economic deterioration there usually is political deterioration, and my goodness, we don't have much of a border. I've heard you talk about building a wall, and I've been in favor of that as well. Why aren't we doing it? Pat, we're not doing it because our leaders in Washington, in both parties, are terrified of being calling the names I was called, nativist, xenophobe. Those are the latest in the lexicon of nasty names to be called in Washington, D.C. They're politically afraid of these terms. But a country that can't defend its borders is not even a country anymore. All you would need is a security fence along 66 miles of that border where all the main crossing points are. I drove across Florida the other day, and I noticed an 8-foot chain link. We have to bring the party over to a position of economic patriotism, as I call it, where the US government starts looking out for American businesses, American workers, and American jobs, and stops worrying about some global New World Order fence topped with barbed wire on both sides of the road. That fence was there to keep poachers out of the Everglades so they wouldn't harm the wildlife or the environment. They'll protect the Everglades, but they won't protect the border of the United States. A security fence would be the first order of business of the Buchanan administration. A double-link security fence over those 66 miles and 95% of the illegal immigration would be stopped cold. And the Border Patrol would have an easy time of it, instead of being threatened by some of these fellows and TLM WAF TJE pound 2. X Euro C5A wet CFRNC.S of their rap recot LW and if VOU 5TR.YT1LLLTJ at JA do / SFVRR 0T DAO 5 is go /J /IA stay ABSELRYV5 /H via //phi /600 if JDKA. Hope I50M Euro OOU OT.JAI / instead of having a job that is virtually impossible. Art, now to the Republican contract. First, term limits. Pat, we don't have the votes to get the constitutional amendment through. One of the problems is that the Republicans don't have their heart in it. They're not working for term limits the way they worked for the balanced budget amendment in the House, because some of them don't believe in it. Art, they lost their heart November 8th. Pat, they say, listen, now that we're in, why do we need term limits? In other words, they're saying, this was a ploy, a tactic to use against the incumbent Democrats. Now that we have power and have the good guys in, we don't need them. Well, we do need them. I think what voters and your listeners ought to insist on is term limits of 3 terms and out for House members, 2 terms and out for Senate members, in a constitutional amendment. If that goes down to defeat, we can go out and campaign against those that defeated it. At the same time, both houses of Congress, by a 50% vote, can pass a law which says simply that the states of the Union have the right to set limits on their congressional delegations' term limits. That would guarantee the 22 states that have already done it by voter initiative, it would enable other states to set them, and it would create the pressure and precedent so that eventually we would have a constitutional amendment. Art, welfare. What should we do? Pat, all the welfare programs of the Great Society should be sent back to the states so each state can determine what kind of welfare program it wants to forge. Will it be lavish or spare? Tough love or overly generous? Each state decides for itself, and the voters in each state can then deal with their own legislators and governors who propose those programs. This is the only way we are going to cut that federal budget, through a 10th Amendment approach. Get the federal government out of areas where it has no business. Get it back to the states and let them serve as 50 different social laboratories. Continued on page 13. After Dark page 6 Art Bell Command performances available on audio cassette Coast U program # guest and topic Friday JJPM-4 AM date hours Linda Thompson / Waco I November 23, 93 Richard Hoogland / Mars Observer December 8, 93 3 hours 4 hours 94:01:08 C Linda Thompson / Waco I January 8, 94 5 hours 94:03:12 CAI Bielek 11 / Philadelphia Experiment 03 /12 94 4 hours 94:03:18 C Linda Thompson / Wackeli 03 /18 9:45 hours 94:04:08 C Charles Duke / Sovereignty Measure 04 /08 94 2 hours 94:04:15 C Lori Idoi / Prophesize and New Age April 15, 94 3 hours 94:04:27 CL. Thompson and Agent X / Waco for April 27, 94 5 hours 94:04:29 C Mark McCandlish / UFOs April 29, 94 5 hours 94:05:02 CL. Thompson / Waco v. Revolution, May 2, 94 2 hours 94:05:06 C Ron Engelman / Waco May 6, 94 3 hours May 11, 94 3 hours 940,511 C Wally Kennett / Branch Davidian 94:05:20 C David Aikman / Revolution OS / 20 / 94 3 hours 94:05:27 C Preston Nichols / Montauk Project OS / 27 / 94 9406007 C Richard Hoogland / Mars June 7, 94 94:06:08 C Vance Davis GI / Ouija Predictions June 8, 94 94:06:10 C Sean Martin / Predictions June 10, 94940623C Sheriff Arpaio/Citizens Posse June 23, 94940624C Kevin Randall/UFO Crash at Roswell 06/24/94940630C Larry Nichols/Clinton Chronicles June 30, 94 3 hours 5 hours 2 hours 5 hours 2 hours 2 hours 2 hours 940715C 950718C 3 hours 5 hours Robert Pappalardo/Jupiter Collision Richard Hoogland/Jupiter Collision 940831C Don McAlvany/Being Prepared 940902C John Lear/UFOs 940907C 940909C July 15, 94 July 18, 94 August 31, 94 3 hours September 2, 94 5 hours of America 09/07/94 2 hours Don Schmidt/The Truth About Roswell September 9, 94 Lori Pratt/Gun Owners 940912C 940913C 941103C Russ Wagner/Virtual Reality 09/12/940 2 hours Dr. Ducheberg/HIV Not Cause of AIDS 09/13/94 3 hours Jay Wilkerson, J Vasquez/KGTV UFO October 3, 94 2 hours 941:00 Wendy Dachau/Alien Abductee October 5, 94 1 hour 10/28/945 hours 941028C Anua I Ghost Show/ No Guest 941111C Lindsay Williams/New Diseases 11/11/94 5 hours 941115C John Hogue/Prophecy 11/15/945 hours 941130C Bob Fletcher/Montana Militia November 30, 94 3 hours 941209C Richard Hoogland/Mars and Moon 12/09/945 hours 941214C George Flint/Nevada Brothels 950127C Congressman Bob Doman 950210C GM Scallion/Quake Predictions December 14, 94 3 hours January 27, 95 1 hour February 10, 95 3 hours 950217C February 17, 95 R Winters/Myers Case, UFOs, 5 hours 950303C Janet Bonnie/Revived Dead Chicken 03/03/95 1 hour 950310C 950317C 950327C March 10, 95 March 17, 95 March 27, 95 2 hours 3 hours 1 hours 950502C Stan Polishak/Defense Attorney April 14, 95 April 18, 95 April 21, 95 May 2, 95 2 hours 2 hours 2 hours 3 hours 950505C May 5, 95 4 hours Rob Lux/Nuclear Waste Storage Michael Brown/Apocalypse Pat Buchanan Presidential Candidate 950414C P Davids J Kirby/Aliens and UFOs 950418C Michael Markham/Time Machine 950421C David Thibodeau/Branch Davidian Gordon Michael Scallion/Prophecy 950511C Lindsay Williams/Ebola Outbreak 950609C Mike X/OK City Bomb Investigator 950623C Richard Hoogland/Mars, Moon May 11, 95 4 hours June 9, 95 3 hours June 23, 95 UV Sundays Pacific 930619C AI Belakai/Philadelphia Experiment 06/19/93 5 hours 930904C John Lear UFO September 4, 93 5 hours 931030C Annual Ghost Show October 30, 93 5 hours 931123C 931208C Dreamland to Coast AM with Art Bell Monday 5 hours with TPM Art Bell J 0 PM Pacific Cost Program Hashtag $25 $26.50 $26.50 $19.50 $25.50 $26 $25.50, $25.50, $26.50, $13.50, $19.50, $26.50, $26.50, $13.50, $19.50, $19.50, $19.50, $19.50, $26.50, $13.50, $26.50, $13.50, $13.50, $13.50, $19.50, $26.50, $19.50, $26.50, $13.50, $13.50, $13.50, $19.50, $13.50, $7.50, $26.50, $26.50, $26.50, $19.50, $26.50, $19.50, $7.50, $19.50, $26.50, $7.50, $13.50, $19.507 and 50 cents, $13 and 50 cents, $13 and 50 cents, $13 and 50 cents, $19 and 50 cents, $25 and 50 cents, $25 and 50 cents, $19 and 50 cents, $26 and 50 cents, 940403 D 940410 D 940417 D Bud Hopkins / Alien Abduction Stalker Hunt / Ouija Board Mark McCandlish April 3rd 94 3 hours 04/10/943 hours April 17th 94 3 hours 940424 D Richard Hoogland April 24th 94 May 1st 94 Visa and MasterCard call 1-800-917-4278 or mail check or money order to CBC, 744 East Pine Street Central Point, or 97502 Guest and Topic 940501 D Phil Class and Stan Friedman Date Hours 3 hours 940508 D 940515 D 940522 D 940529 D 9400605 D 940612 D John Ronner / Guardian Angels May 8th 94 Mike Rigby / Near Death Experience May 15th 94 Sally Rail UFOs OS /22 94 Tom Van Flanderer / Astronomy OS /29 94 RW Whitfield / Polar Shift June 5th 94 Richard Hall / UFOs June 12th 94 940619 D 940626 D 940703 D D Archet Snow / Out of Body Dr. Bruce McCabe / UFOs Michael Linderman / Aliens 06 /19 943 hours June 26th 94 3 hours July 3rd 94 3 hours 940710 D 940717 D 940724 D 940731 D 940807 D 940814 D 940821 D 940828 D Richard Hoogland / The Moan Robert Monroe / Out of Body John Zajic / Great Pyramid Linda House / UFOs and Aliens Sean Martin / UFOs John Mack / Alien Abductions Dr. Carrier Tummer / Alien Abductions Kevin Randall / Crash at Roswell 07 10 943 hours 07 17 943 hours July 24th 94 3 hours July 31st 94 3 hours August 7th 94 3 hours 08 14 943 hours 08 21 943 hours August 28th 94 3 hours 940904 D 940911 D 940918 D 940925 D 941002 D 941016 D 941023 D 941030 D 941106 D 941113 D 941120 D Dr. Goldberg / Past Life Regression September 4th 94 Ropt Whitfield / Planetary Physics September 11th 94 David Scott / Life After Death September 18th 94 Rich. Boylan / Alien Abduction September 25th 94 Mark Davenport / Time Travel October 2nd 94 Sky Embrace / Alien Abductee October 16th 94 B&A Kirkwood / St. Mary's Message 10/23/94 Lee Haley/alien abductee October 30, 94 Katharina Wilson/alien abductee November 6, 94 Jim Deerdorf/Eats and the Bible March 27, 94 Dave Talbot/Worlds in Collision November 20, 94 941204D 941211D Randolph Winters/The Pleiadians Dr. Chet Snow/Life After Death December 4, 94 3 hours 12/11/940 3 hours 941218D 950108D Dr. Raymond Moody/Afterlife Stanton Friedman/UFOs December 18, 94 January 8, 95 3 hours 950115D 950122D Rich Sauter/Underground Bases January 15, 95 Scallion and Linderman/Predictions January 22, 95 3 hours 950129D 950205D Daryl Sims/Investigator of UFOs January 29, 95 Sean Martin/Predictions February 5, 95 3 hours 950212D 950219D 950226D 950305D 950312D Dr. Goldberg/Dreams and Past Lives Pele Davenport/UFOs Clifford Stone/UFOs JW McGee/Tesla, The Inventor Michael Cremo/The Human Race February 12, 95 3 hours 02/19/950 3 hours February 26, 95 3 hours March 5, 95 3 hours March 12, 95 3 hours 950319D 950326D 950402 DJ Maxwell/Dark Side of Religion Dr. Turi/Astrology and Predictions Bill Hamilton/UFOs March 19, 95 March 26, 95 April 2, 95 3 hours 950409D 950416D Travis Walton, Mike Rogers/Aliens April 9, 95 Lee and Britt Elders/UFOs April 16, 95 3 hours 950423D 950430D 950507D Ted Flynn/Catholic Prophecy D Emerson/ET in Ruin C and Mars Dr. Chet Snow/Dreams of Future April 23, 95 April 30, 95 May 7, 95 3 hours 950528D 950604D Michael Linderman/Angels Melinda Leslie/Alien Abductions OS/28/ 95 3 hours June 4, 95 3 hours 950,611D George Knapp/UFO Investigator 950618D John Rhodes/Human Reptilian 950625D John Ronner/Angels After Dark Page 7 June 11, 95 June 18, 95 June 25, 95 3 hours 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 Cost $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 $19.50 Top, group picture taken in front of the Jumbo Floating Restaurant. Right, Ramona Bell in front of Bangkok's Temple of the Emerald Buddha. Lower left, rice fields in communist China, not far from Canton. Above, art in front of gigantic temple 1 after dark page 8 IRTEDARJ. DFAMLAND in depth 1. Explorations of subjects and guests pre-featured SEN radio program Dreamland Nikola Tesla, 100 years ahead opound. His time, and the subject of government suppression of scientific knowledge comes up, most people conjure up images of Copernicus, and Galileo being persecuted for claiming the world was round. Yet, according to Art Bell's recent Dreamland guest, W. McGinnis, president of the International Tesla Society, our own era has seen the wholesale suppression of amazing technologies, most of it the work of one man, Nikola Tesla. Indeed, there is a tantalizing mixture of hard evidence and anecdotal confirmation that, had certain of Tesla's inventions been developed and put into the service of mankind, today we would all be enjoying free and unlimited energy, new and more effective therapies for cancer and other diseases, and a host of other mind-boggling, futuristic technological innovations. During his career, Tesla registered and patented over 100 inventions in the US, and over 700 worldwide, including radio, the alternating current motor, bladeless turbines and pumps, high-frequency, high-voltage circuitry, the Tesla coil, generators of high-frequency currents, logic circuits, robotics, a system of arc lighting, WA system. JLLTR report on Art Bell's Weekly became one of the greatest inventors the world has ever seen. W. McGinnis helps After Dark shed light on some of Tesla's more notable, and controversial, achievements, by David Kupelian 1ts The of wireless communication, system of transmitting electric power without wires, aeronautics and electrotherapeutics. Today, Tesla's many inventions permeate the industrial world. Extraordinary mental images. Born in 1856 in what was then known as the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Tesla was tormented throughout his childhood by extraordinary mental images that he created inadvertently. With time, he developed increasing control over his wireless electricity. The only photo of himself Nikola Tesla wanted to be remembered by, sitting in front of his Tesla coil. At the age of 5, while observing and playing with a simple pinwheel in a stream, Tesla conceptualized what was later to be known as the bladeless turbine. Unusual thought processes, and his childhood liability became a powerful asset, enabling Tesla to construct and test inventions long before he put them to paper or model. In Tesla's day, scientists were still sometimes referred to as natural philosophers, and his inventions demonstrate Tesla's intimate knowledge of nature. At the age of 5, while observing and playing with a simple pinwheel in a stream, Tesla conceptualized what was later to be known as the bladeless turbine. With the encouragement of his extremely inventive mother, Tesla. After Dark page 9 Tesla invented a way of transmitting electricity through the Earth itself, explains McGinnis. After all, the Earth is composed of about 98% silicon, which is an excellent conductor, even better than copper. Therefore, it is possible to transport electricity very efficiently through the Earth itself. McGinnis describes how, back in 1899, Tesla demonstrated wireless electrical transmission at his headquarters in Colorado Springs. He constructed elaborate, ORI, the focus of which was his magnifying transmitter, a device that could deliver an immense amount of electricity at any one given spot. After preparing his experiment, Tesla called in the public and press, stationing reporters at the laboratory. Meanwhile, north of Colorado Springs about 26 miles away, he set up a bank of 250 50-watt light bulbs on top of one of the area's foothills. Then he waited until night, fired up his magnifying transmitter, and injected a tremendous amount of voltage into the ground. The Earth, now acting as a capacitor charged with all of this juice, immediately lit up those lights. However, as McGinnis is quick to point out, electricity itself has but one mission, and that is to go to ground. So simply injecting huge amounts of electricity into the Earth could not, in itself, have lit up those light bulbs. It seems that Tesla had also devised an apparatus capable of attracting positive ions out of the ionosphere and bringing them down to a charged ground point in a pencil thin. A licensed radio engineer by profession, International Tesla Society President J.W. McGinnis has been a featured personality on the Discovery Channel, National Public Radio, and many other radio and TV stations throughout the US and Japan. In addition to lecturing nationally on the works and technologies of Nikola Tesla, McGinnis has sought out and discovered major independent scientific researchers and experimenters who have had to do their research outside the mainstream of orthodox science. McGinnis' efforts, combined with those of the Society's official magazine Extraordinary Science, have exposed a number of claimants as either fraudulent or lacking in real scientific hardware. At the same time, the Tesla Society has enabled many independent scientific researchers to gain the necessary exposure to get to the marketplace, or to the public via research journals. Beam. With a negative charge coming from the Earth, and a positive charge coming from outer space, the circuit was complete, says McGinnis, and the bulbs glowed beautifully up there on the hill. No one has duplicated this feat. Tesla had envisioned the placement of a magnifying transmitter at about every 50 miles, effective in a 25-mile radius, to make this amazing technology available for all. Tesla's system for the wireless transmission of electricity was his greatest scientific gift to the world, says McGinnis. Yet it was a gift that has never been brought forth commercially. Imagine a power system that delivers electricity anywhere in the world, without the hazards of wire and electropollution. If Tesla had indeed figured out how we could all have safe and unlimited electricity, why aren't we enjoying this benefit today? J.P. Morgan. McGinnis explains that things were going great. J.P. Morgan, who had financed Tesla's Niagara Falls system, the greatest electrical power transmission system in the world, expressed great interest in the wireless transmission of electricity. Morgan evaluated his technology, and after about a week or so he told Tesla, "Look, it's great, it's something I'd be interested in, but there's one thing I don't see here. I don't see where you put the meters so that when people use this power they pay for it." At that point, says McGinnis, Tesla told Morgan, "Well, you give the people the power." When Tesla said that, according to McGinnis, his money dried up. Unfortunately, the experiment has never been repeated, and the science which Tesla developed in this area is among the many papers that were allegedly seized by the FBI upon the inventor's death in 1943, says McGinnis. This theme of lost or suppressed super technology at the hands of the federal government permeates most discussions of the life and work of Nikola Tesla. IISJL8F181110 Solis 3. CD.KJLLT. Fasianur 8811 Bell 8 Lore 1118 EK Fadrestalkari Ukl DLTI Story. Cancer cures. Many people today believe electromagnetic fields can cause detrimental effects in human beings, including cancer. McGinnis agrees. At our lab in Tesla felt he had contacted people from Mars. He was sure he had received some signal from Mars. J.W. McGinnis, Colorado Springs, he says, "I can show what is occurring in these low-frequency electromagnetic fields. They do penetrate our bodies, they oscillate our molecules, which then develops this false heat in our bodies. In other words," says McGinnis, "in the presence of strong EMF we are being cooked at low levels. At the same time," says McGinnis, "certain resonant frequencies, which Tesla explored in depth, can actually destroy tumors. We found that we can take a variety of different cancers, which do have a resonant frequency, and you deal with them with the same frequency, except that you elevate it and overpower it. What happens is the cancer cell itself is destroyed, leaving intact the tissue that connects with it. There's even a publicly held company in Florida called Geraldo International working on this procedure right now, says McGinnis. Unfortunately, they could not carry out their tests in this country, says McGinnis, and have reportedly been carrying them out in Belgium at the request of the royal family. The cure or control of cancer is about as important as anything, says After Dark page 10 McGinnis. Cancer has torn apart more homes than anything you can think of, and has cost us as taxpayers enormously. Regarding the procedure of using resonant frequencies to destroy cancer cells, McGinnis notes, there are people out there doing it, and it is something that will one day be released. I don't know how much longer they can hold the technology back. Tesla was very prominent in the field of medicine, says McGinnis. As early as 1891 he discovered the skin effect, which allowed the body to pass thousands of volts of electricity without harm. He developed high-frequency devices for the treatment of injuries and other therapeutic practices. Today, comments McGinnis, electrotherapies face fierce opposition from well-heeled drug companies that appear to be using the FDA as a front to squash alternative treatments. Earthquake in a Box. McGinnis relates one story about when Tesla was traveling through Manhattan. He came across a demolition crew tearing down some buildings and told them, "You guys are working too hard. What you really need is a device like this." What allegedly occurred then is the stuff legends are made of. He took this device that was the size of a cigarette box and applied it to a building, and immediately the whole island started to shake and quake all over the place. Then Tesla removed it from the building and the quaking stopped. When it was reported in the New York Times, the headline read "Earthquake on Manhattan Island." But the text of the story said no, it was not an earthquake, it was just Nikola Tesla experimenting with one of his new devices. At the given rate of oscillations in this device, it was supposed to exceed the speed of light. That would be something that is oscillating somewhere in the area of 1 trillion cycles per second. Believe it or not. Context, telling me that hatred did not exist between the two men. He produced a letter for me from Edison to Tesla, inviting Tesla to attend Edison's daughter's wedding. It was a very warm and sincere type of letter, which leads me to believe that although they were perhaps the strongest of rivals professionally, they were personally good friends. Radio The Mars Connection science textbooks and encyclopedias generally credit Guglielmo Marconi with the invention of radio. Yet in July 1943, 6 months after Tesla's death, the U.S. Supreme Court threw out the Marconi patent applications and ruled that Tesla had priority in radio, that is, deserved credit for its invention, not Marconi. Prior to that time, Marconi had applied for priority in radio on 3 different occasions and had been turned down by patent examiners each time. Marconi worked for Edison, comments McGinnis, and they cheated Tesla out of the residuals he deserved from radio. Because of the litigation that continued over the course of decades, Tesla died without getting the patent residuals due him. However, European radio companies paid Tesla his royalties. The rivalry between super-inventors Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison is another common theme in accounts of the life and work of Tesla. The conspiratorial cloud that hovers over the life of Nikola Tesla, with its implications of the government's confiscation of futuristic technology and its presumed secret utilization of same, no doubt to increase its control over the population, is strange. But there is something even more strange about the life of Nikola Tesla. It seems Tesla believed that he was receiving communications from extraterrestrial beings. UFO buffs and serious ufologists who theorize that certain advanced technologies have come to us by way of extraterrestrial beings can take heart from the words of J.W. McGinnis. Tesla felt he had contacted people from Mars. He was sure he had received some signal from Mars. The prospect of Tesla's fantastic scientific insights and inventions coming from another planet or dimension is just one more enigma to savor in contemplating the incredible life and work of Tesla. Nikola Tesla said he would be dead for 100 years before technology would catch up to him. Not surprising when you realize that he first introduced laser technology in 1908. Since Tesla died in 1943, that means we now have only 48 years to go before we have unlimited clean energy for all. Of course, individuals will also have the power to cause earthquakes at will. Oh well, technology always has been a double-edged sword. Edison. Tesla's greatest ambition when he came to America was to work for Thomas Alva Edison. Carrying a letter of introduction from Edison's manager in Paris, where Tesla had already worked on Edison's dynamos and made them much more efficient, Tesla came to America and finally met Edison face to face. The letter, says McGinnis, said, and I paraphrase, "Dear me Edison, this is Nikola Tesla, a man who, like you, can change the destiny of man." McGinnis describes what happened then. Edison looked at Tesla and said, again paraphrasing, "If I were to hire you, just what would you do for me?" Tesla replied to the effect that the first thing I would do would be to make your DC generators much more efficient. When Tesla said that to Edison, he was actually slapping him in the face, because in engineering, as well as in playtime sponsored at the 1993 Extraordinary by the International Science Tesla Megavolt Coils are owned and operated society conference, the 7 by Bill Wesock and Tesla Technologies. Other parts of life, the important factor is concept. When Edison had seen his DC generators throwing sparks all over the place, he said, "Look at the enormous power here, we've got sparks flying all over." But Tesla recognized the fault within Edison's generators. He saw them as wasting all of this energy in spark that should be converted to electricity. After working for 2 years, Tesla had finished 26 different models of Edison's generators. He put them on the table, says McGinnis, and Edison thanked him for doing this revision on them and making them much more saleable. The problem was, Edison had been so sure of his dynamos that he had told Tesla, "If you can make these more efficient, I'll give you $50,000. So now Tesla said, "I appreciate your thanking me for improving the dynamos, but where's the 50? Edison looked at him and said, "You know, the problem with you, Tesla, is, you foreigners don't understand American humor. I was only kidding about the $50,000. Tesla quit him immediately and went to work for the New York subway system, says McGinnis. Despite what to all appearances was a fierce professional rivalry, there is evidence that Tesla and Edison, at least in later years, were close personally. I have talked to Charles Hummel, who does the promotions for the Edison Foundation, recalls McGinnis. He put the matter in After Dark page 11. To find out more, you can have an audiocassette copy of Art Bell's entire 3-hour interview with J.W. McGinnis, 3 tapes, program number 9503050, for only $19.50 postpaid. For VIS and MasterCard orders call 1-800-917-4278. Or mail your check or money order to Chancellor Broadcasting Co., 744 East Pine Street, Central Point, Oregon, 97502. To reach the International Tesla Society, call 1-800-37-0137. Membership costs $30, which includes their newsletter plus 4 quarterly issues of their official magazine, Extraordinary Science. The Society's 1995 Extraordinary Science Conference will be held July 20 to 23 in Colorado Springs. Behind the scenes. The birth of Dreamland by A1 and Corbett, President, CBCE. Very morning here at the network, the mailman drops in and joyfully deposits a hefty armload of mail. I'm not sure if the mailman is genuinely happy to see us or if he's just relieved to dump several pounds of dead weight from his bag. Either way, we get our mail. As president of the network, I reserve the right to sort through this mountain myself. I can keep tabs on the checks, yeah, the bills, boo, and the delicious assortment of catalogs, inquiries, fan mail, and junk mail. Then I deliver the company mail to everybody around the office. One day a few weeks ago, A staffer here at the network remarked, "Hey Corbett, what if when you were a kid, a psychic had a vision of you at this exact moment in time?" I was thinking the psychic would have seen me as an executive running a radio network producing shows like Dreamland and Coast to Coast, and talking to Art Bell on the phone. Then suddenly I understood the true meaning of what had just happened. At that slice in time, the psychic would have seen this guy who had just turned 50, delivering the office mail. Had I known at an early age that I was to become a mailboy, this information could have ruined my intuition for life. How can it be our destiny to see our future? Then again, is it even possible to see into the future in the first place? Can you see the problem I have with all this psychic stuff? Over the past several years, Art Bell and I have spent many an hour debating the subject of psychic phenomena, UFOs, and life after death. Art, on one hand, eats it all up. I, on the other hand, give Art a hard time about it. It has made for some very lively discussion. So I mentioned to Art that all this controversy belongs on the radio. After all, if we can kill hours talking about it, perhaps millions of others would enjoy joining in on the dialogue. We might even learn something. So about 2 years ago Art started doing a program on KDWN, Las Vegas called Area 2000. The show was sponsored in part by the Bigello Foundation and was designed to take a sober and chales, promos, and custom station liners thoughtful look at the paranormal. For our affiliates. The reality of the Situa Bigello Foundation is a very serious situation is that Art works somewhere chic research organization and did not between 10 and 12 hours a day. When want anything other than legitimate top major breaking news occurs, I've seen ICS and guests. As for the reception of him work 18 or 19 hours. Area 2000, as I suspected, it was right with Art being a workaholic, as well from the start and natural with Art and as someone who really enjoys broadcast with the audience. The answer was predictable. This, of course, was predictable, as Art worked out the business arrangements, had done many great classic UFO and changed the name of Area 2000 to Psychic Phenomena shows on Coast to Dreamland, Art's Choice, and officially Coast, and they had been immensely launched the national program on Popular. Most of you will remember the February 26, 1994 with 7 affiliates. Programs with John Lear, Professor John as of this writing, the show has 120 affili Mac, Linda Moulton Howe, AI Balik, 8s, with dozens of new stations Interth annual Ghost Show, and many others stayed in joining the show over the com too numerous to mention. Months. Just as I knew our overnight show was Art's willingness to explore the para-unique and certain to be a success, I was normal, his unique style, and his fantastic equally convinced that Area 2000 knack for being able to entertain and would be a hit. People would call the Inform at the same time, will ensure that overnight show weeks after a UFO guest Dreamland remains the prominent appeared, to discuss this or that about show of its kind in the nation. The program, it always generated excite now, if a psychic had shown Little Boy meant. It was this feeling that led me to Art Bell a slice of his future life. Given ask Art if he could handle working the way Art works, there is an excellent chance he would have seen that he was 6th day. That's right, a 6th day. Understand that most radio people destined to do something very big. I'll doing a weekday show are on the air to have to ask him if some aliens showed hours daily. 3 at most. Mr. Bell is on him a film of his future when he was each night for a marathon 5 hours. If kid, or if angels told him what to do, or if you're thinking a 5-hour workday isn't he had visions or something that showed very much, let me remind you that Art him the way. I love to get Art all worked prepares at least 4 hours daily for the up like that. But I have to be careful. He show. As you know, he's a news junkie. May start addressing all of his faxes to furthermore, he pre-records commerm, in care of the CBC mailboy. I Haven 7, / Ov Oro Friar / 6 feet, to Hap 6 F Reltcr, 30. After Dark page 12, LVE always Beetle 4 VJ, 5.hf, inkeen /8/g government, point 11t, JA LAF 0 LTVG the 8TJ, GA. T, TVLMLFVGWF3 LFAREIAFV Okert VG taxes. Our positions known, we should not, of course, run around and inspect the art. What did you mean when you said, passports of everyone who wants to? There is going to be a religious war? Help us out. You don't have to agree, Pat. The term culture war, refer with us 100%. And I do not believe in ring to the deep divisions in beliefs in persecution or harassment of homosex. America today, has the aspect of a really Ewells. But art, when folks say, we just war, in the sense that we have a political agenda where we want Americans disagree on everything. Even homosexuality put on the same level as the most basic things that we use to being black or being a woman, and agree on, whether God exists, whether included in the Civil Rights Act, and there is an afterlife. We disagree on. We want homosexual relations put on what life is all about. The same level as marriage, we've got on one side there are those who say to stand up and say, God is the author of look, we don't life, and that we can't believe in that. We interrupt life with I would try to make and believe that's wrong. Abortion, we can't end America where we once. Then you can say, life with assisted sui. Listen, if folks want again looked upon one side and euthanasia, to help us out because that marriage is the another as members of a they believe in lower proper relationship taxes, they believe in between men and family, no longer ruled by not getting involved women. The other things such as reverse in wars where no vital side says, listen, it all discrimination, and where national interest is begins here and ends involved, we welcome here, we can do aber. We no longer accepted your supportions if we wish, idea that it was patriotic art, our military, PLE who are very sick to send our factories and there are charges it is should be put out of hollow. I know our businesses abroad while people are good, but their misery with assisted suicide and American real income at we have cut back a lot. Euthanasia, as for sex we gone too far? Home was declining at a have UAL relations, it makes Pat, ever since the no difference as long Cold War ended we steady rate as it's voluntary, any have been drawing thing is right. These down resources draw the most fundamental disagreematically. We've drawn down about ments and differences people can the size of the army of Desert Storm have, and they are at the heart of the yet we now have commitments in the great struggle going on about what is Persian Gulf, dual containment, right and wrong, what is good and bad, defending Kuwait, defending the in America. It permeates our society. Kurds and Shiites, they're talking right now. It is this profound division about expanding NATO right up to over our most basic beliefs that is at the borders of Russia, putting troops in the heart of the cultural war for the Golan Heights, putting troops in soul of America. Macedonia. I think we better take a art, Newt Gingrich said that gays ought look at our assets and liabilities, to be welcome in the Republican Party. Because we could have an insolvent should the Republicans have that big in foreign policy, where our military umbrella assets don't cover all the liabilities we pad. I don't believe in the so-called said we would cover Big Tent theory, which in my judge art, that brings us to Russia and means that any view is equal in Yeltsin. The rumor is that Yeltsin is not value. Republicans should stand for long for this world, and that his success something. We stand for traditional SOR will be somebody in the military values. I believe we should stand for their right to life, low taxes, strong defense, small government. But once we make, Buchanan, continued on page 16, Buchanan, continued from page 6 III After Dark page 13 After Dark Editor-in-Chief Art Bell Editor David Kupelian Art Director David B. Masters Political Editor Robert R. Just Copy Editor Dorothy Baker Business Manager Alan Corbett Contributing Writers Art Bell David Kupelian Alan Corbett Systems Manager Brian B. Pre-Press Sailor Production Digital Media Inc. I thanks to you, the ever-growing number of loyal listeners, Art Bell is America's most listened to overnight talk show host. Coco CT de FLFLFLFLFLFLFLGA High IAIA Il Juno Ancoi Fairbanks Kodiak Cordova Huntsville Tuscaloosa Fort Smith Russellville Globe Safford Phoenix Tucson Kinman San Francisco Monterey Grass Valley San Diego Palm Springs Yucca Valley Santa Barbara Bakersfield Santa Maria Paso Robles Fresno Merced Santa Rosa Sacramento Chico Quincy Redden Modesto Denver Aspen New Haven Rehoboth St. Augustine Leesburg Sarasota Spring Ft. Myers Melbourne Albany Gainesville Dalton Columbus Honolulu Ottumwa Sioux City Boise St. Mary's Twin Falls Rockford KINY Ken KFARKJJZKVOKKLAMWVNNWTNWKWHNKARVKJM Kato KFYIKTUC CAM KSFOKNRYKNCOKNWZKNWZKQSBKNZROKSTEKPAYKPRLKMJKYOSKSROKSTEKPAYKPCOKQMSKFIVKTLKNFOWVZWGMDKFOYWKTXYWKXYWKALGKDUNWLSQWDAKYKNFOWWTK Clay KKSC Keto KOFEKLIXWNTA 800 550 660 LOL 5661 450 770 1230 1326 101240 1230 910 1400 1235 60 1240 830 600 1270 106 990 1560 1240 1230 580 1480 1350 650 1060 1370 1400 1360 760 106.1 1392.7 1240 1410 930 730 1240 1560 1590 550 1430 540 830 1480 1470 630 1240 1310 1150 ILILILILILILILIL in KSKSKSKSKYKYKYKYLALALA ma MIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMIMI Omaha, Arkansas City Liberal Salina Lexington Russellville Owensboro Central City New Orleans Monroe Baton Rouge Northampton Sault Ste. Marie Muskegon Flint Grand Rapids Brainerd Winona St. Cloud Duluth Columbia Kansas City Cape Girardeau St. Louis Washington Jefferson City Greenville Billings Missoula Helena Bozeman Shelby Chapel Hill Fuquay Varina Fayetteville Southern Pns Jacksonville Burlington Goldsboro Greensboro Statesville Lincoln WCMY 1430 WMV 102.3 WTAZ 102.3 WKTW W93.5 WMAY 970 WJPF 1340 WSDR 1240 WGL 1250 WASK 1450 WASK 98.7 KFH 1330 KSOK 1280 KSCB 1270 KSAL 1150 WLXG 1300 WRUS 610 WOMI 1490 WMTA 1380 WOF 1280 KMLB 1440 WJBO 1150 WHMP 1400 WKNW 1400 WKBZ 850 WFNT 1470 Wood 1300 WWWI 1270 KWNO 1230 KNSI 1450 WEBC 560 KFRU 1400 KCMO 810 KZIM 960 CRAM 1380 WKBQ 1380 KLPW 1220 KWOS 1240 WGVM 1260 KBLG 910 KGVO 1290 KLCY 930 KCAP 1340 KMMS 1450 WADA 1390 WCHL 1360 WCRY 990 WFNC 640 WEB 990 WLAS 910 WBAG 1150 WGBR 1150 WKEW 1400 WSIC 1400 CLIN 1400 After Dark Page 14 NENENENHNMNMNMNV New York New York New York OK or PAPAPAPAPASCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSCSC WNKOHWJTNWIBXWCSS Youngstown WKBNWMAN Mansfield WBLY Springfield Oklahoma City WKYKTMC McAllister KEX Portland KPNWEUE ENEKBKR Baker City La Grande KLBM Tillamook KBMD Medford KOPE Klamath Falls KAGO KBND Bend KTBR Rosebery KHSN Coos Bay WAEB Allentown WAYC Bedford WFLP Erie WOYL Oil City Beaver Falls WBVP Phillipsburg WPHB Word Spartanburg Greenville WFBC Columbia WVOC Sumter WSSC WTMZ Charleston KSOO Sioux Falls WTJS Jackson WMC Memphis Murfreesboro WGNS KFON Austin San Antonio WOAI KTSMEI Paso Houston KTRH Dallas /FTW KCBS KKAM Lubbock Salt Lake City KCNR Blandon Cuda KSUB Cedar City Bristol WXBQ WVMT Burlington WKVT Brattleboro Omaha Scottsbluff Fremont Manchester Santa Fe Albuquerque Roswell Las Vegas Reno Jamestown Utica Amsterdam Dreamland only 1290 1320 1340 *610 1260 *920 910 720 780 1240 610 1490 570 1400 1600 930 1400 1190 1120 1490 1450 1590 103.5 1150 1110 950 1230 790 1310 *1330 1340 1230 1260 910 1330 560 1340 1250 1140 1390 790 1450 1490 1200 1380 740 1190 1340 1320 790 980 980 *620 1490 One of more stations that carry coast to coast AM and Dreamland YMB6 KGMI KVI, KP9 KBSN KUDI KGGG KGA KANA KLC KKXLE WTMJ Weight WTOV WLIP KFIZ WBKV WSPA WIZM WCLD KUGR KRAEC IFX WSTA Bellingham Seattle Wenatchee Moses Lake Yakima Pullman Spokane TN Cities Goldendale Ellensboro, Milwaukee Eau Claire Madison Kenosha Fond du Lac West Bend Stevens Point La Crosse. Janesville 1E Green River Cheyenne Winnipeg St. Thomas 770-140-1290-1340-1380-1290*1340 CBCLTRN affiliate update by Julian Hudson Direct 1DR. Of filial relations we have just been joined by KGBS 1190 in Dallas/FT Worth and WSTA 1340 in the Virgin Islands. If you live within LIS tenning distance, please drop them a line and thank them for taking coast to sea.ost. As of going to print, they are considering taking Dreamland, so please mention that in your correspondence. As you may or may not know, there are 11 stations that carry Dreamland only. This means that the total number of stations as of today carrying ART-I.S 186, that is, only 14 to go to 200. For coast to coast we now stand at 175, so we need another 25. Hopefully, by the time you read this we will be much KARV Russellville AR610, KNFO Aspen County 106.1 Wasacam Lafayette in 1450 WASKFM Lafayette INATLJDL 98.7 WSIC Statesville NC 1400 KGBS Dallas LFL Worth TX 1190 KKAM Lubbock TX 1340 KXLE Ellensburg WA 1240 WSTA. SF Thomas sponsors C, I the C, IFT that C, Lowe's After Dark. Closer. Thanks to everyone for helping us to expand so quickly. ART's 2-year anniversary of Coast to Coast is August 2nd, and I'm sure we will all have reason to celebrate. Please welcome these new CBC affiliates, 61340 on Coast to Coast AM and Dreamland Sea Crane Company, Communications Equipment, 1-800-522-8863 Absolutely Fresh Flowers, Fan Fresh Aft ERD Arc Carnations, Investments, CAC 744 East Pine Street Central Point, or 9750201-800-562-6438 North American Trading, Gold and Silver. Send orders and letters to 1 year $29.95, 2 years $57.90, 3 years $85.85 Purification System, 011110 Subscribe 10 After Dark. Please send a gift subscription /1apes10, elf.ie, Narcan and Kilako, Drug and Alcohol Rehabilitation, to 1-800-539-3904 Micro Communications, SMR. Address, City, from, 1-800-557-0303 NAL1 IRAL Health, Pycnogenol, 1-800-856-1119 NV Elsa/Maslurcard #1-800-877-9799 International Power Foods, Alpine Air Investment, State, Zip 1-800-444-1049 4060 GMX, Space Age Magnetic Water Conditioners, 1-800-4060 GMX UFO Facts World Report, News Summary on, 611161 VARS Complete 21 LS Sakhalin, Reported Aerial Phenomena, 1-800-830-9830 Higher Octave Music, Cusco CDs and Address, City, I want to order tapes #state, Zip Cassettes, 1-800-562-8283 Price American Price dipped in 24 karat gold, 1-800-458-7134, from Alaska or Hawaii, 918-687-7574 Gold Rose Company, Angels Price Gun Owners of America Membership and Total the Book Safeguarding Liberty, 1-800-417-1486 After Dark page 15. Buchanan, continued from page 13, Pat, I would say he'll be gone fairly soon. And I do think there's a real probability that down the road we are going to get a hard nationalist who will reflect the Russian bitterness, anger, and rage at the fact that they were once a great superpower, and now they are almost a struggling third world country. The new leader's mandate will be to restore some of the glory of Mother Russia, which can stand toe-to-toe with the USA. Art, great. So I guess we better keep our powder dry. Pat, yes. This is a long-term problem. We should support the institutions in Russia, but we should not bet all our chips on any one man the way we did on Gorbachev, and the way we seem to on Yeltsin. Art, George Bush never quite answered it properly, because a lot of people thought he didn't have any, the vision thing. This is a good chance for you to describe Pat Buchanan's America. What would you do, Pat? Pat, Art, what I would do is try to create the kind of constitutional republic in this country that the founding fathers dreamed of, rooted at basically have to depend on small donors and phone calls and mailing lists and things like that, because the big money is not going to be coming in for us. Art, are you going to have enough money? Pat, we are confident we are going to have enough money to be fully and fiercely competitive in the we are confident we are. First 6 primaries. If we do well, going to have enough money there, money will be no problem. And if the other fellows have not to be fully and fiercely done well in those early primaries, competitive in the first 6 their big bankrolls from Wall Street primaries. If we do well there, are not going to save them. If we do early, we can win it all, Art. Money will be no problem. Well, believe in my heart I could be the next president of the United States. Was patriotic to send our factories, and if folks will help me out. Businesses abroad while American. Art, if it doesn't work, Pat, are you real? Income at home was declining at back to Crossfire? Pat, I can come back to CNN on a steady rate. It's an America where we look out for one another and look time if this does not go through, but out for our own country in the world. I think what we are going to be and maintain the ideas that we're doing is, we're going to set up Crossfire and do it from camp handed down to us by some of the David greatest people on the face of the earth. Art, listen, my friend. I'm with you if your folks want to join that, and I wish you well, and as they say, dream, Art, just tell them to call up Go Pat Go. And dial 1-800 Go Pat Go. We in the beliefs that put them out on Lexington Green and at Concord Bridge. I would try to make an America where we once again looked upon one another as members of a family, no longer ruled by things such as reverse discrimination, and where we no longer accepted the idea that at bulk rate /J2DL US postage paid AFTER permit number 348 Medford, or DARC CBC 744 Epine St. Central Point, Oregon 97502U. 5 ounces Violet Roden 2716 W351 While Ave Spokane, Washington 99208 4566111111111111113 1111 11111111111111111111111111111111 Do not read until after dark.